kind of video showcasing if the hobby is dying, if the market is down, if things are just falling apart, because in a quick vacuum, most are going to say, yes, it is, especially when you look at the indexes here on Card Ladder where there is just a bunch of red. The only thing that is in the green is Star Wars cards, Marvel cards, Culture 51, and soccer, which is, obviously not the mainstream stuff that we all want it to be, like football and basketball, baseball, Pokemon, of course. So with all this red, and I've made countless videos about this before, but I really wanted to highlight the hobby's grandest scale, and that is the national, where it's going to be one of, if not the best indicator on if market is down, if the market is collapsing, if the hobby's crashing and all that, negative stigma that people think that this hobby is, clouded with. Now, in 2020, COVID happened, the hobby spiked. There was no National Sports Collectors Convention. So in 2021, that is the first show that we have to go off of since the hobby boomed, and it will rank the second best attended, again, as of August of 2021. It'll rank the second best attended only to the 1991 show in Anaheim, which was, of course, during the peak of the junk wax era. So let's switch over to 2022. Again, they highlight the 91 National in Anaheim, but the 2022 National boasted 90,000 attendees, which is right behind the 2021 show and, of course, the 1991 show that also had around 100,000 attendees. So a lot of action happening, a lot of collectors, investors, just a lot of foot traffic in the space from 2021 to 2022. So let's jump over to 2023, and according to Sports Collectors Digest, the 2023 show was believed to have more than 100,000 attendees, which would make this past year, just a few months ago, the highest ever for this show, which again, current record is the 1991 show in Anaheim, California. So when I look at all this red, and I just made a video about why you should be investing long-term in GOATs, and I'll leave a card to it right here for you at the top of the screen. Long-term investments are great because it appreciates over time, especially when you get into it at the right value. If you got into a card in 2020, 21, maybe even 22 for that matter, of course it's going to not appreciate well unless it's super rare, super high-end, super niche, or a vintage card you just don't see all the time. However, if it's just your modern average, just PSA 9 rookie card of whoever, of course it's going to depreciate over time. Look at all this red because there's so much of it out there. So when I'm looking at the indexes here on Card Ladder, am I worried? No, because as I mentioned in that previous video that I mentioned, it makes cards more affordable for people, whether that's for people to try to flip, whether that's people to quote unquote invest in, or whether it's just people wanting to collect these players' cards. A couple years ago, you couldn't even touch a Joe Burrow Optic or Prism PSA 9 for less than $1,000. Now you could probably buy an Optic for about $300-$400, which is a much more feasible price tag for the card of that player. So just really, when you think about the market, just really take a step back and try to look at it from a broader lens than just the whole flipping, buying, and selling lens, because those lenses could be very foggy and clouded unless you do your research, which that is why I'm trying to make this video and other videos here on the channel, is just to inform you and to enlighten you that all this negative stigma revolving around the hobby isn't necessarily true. It just depends on your point of view. And for me as a collector, as someone who wants more and more people in the hobby, I'm really enjoying seeing this red because it makes it more approachable for people, makes it more affordable for people, so they don't have to dish out so much money on just one card or a card that has a super, super high level of volatility. So that's going to wrap it up for you guys. I want to make this quick video highlighting the National as one of the best indicators that the hobby is not dying, that the market is not collapsing, and that this hobby is in a great place. And if you've been to the National, I'm sure you could testify and agree with me on that matter. But that's going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I've queued up an excellent video right here for you guys that I do believe is going to be excellent for your hobby endeavors. Hopefully, I'll see you in that one.